the keys are to the glory days at the stick. From who's got it better than us to brick by brick. It's always the 49ers way, from off-season to game day. Yeah, we talk back. It's the 49ers Cutback.
It's 49ers Cutback Podcast time. Welcome to the 49ers versus Vikings game preview show. This is going to be great. We're going to get into key matchups, give some really bold predictions, and then make picks about the NFC West games. So far, it's been a nice competition.
I'm making faces. I'm excited. I can't hold it in anymore. Let's go hit the ground. Now that the editor guy has hit the graphic, make sure you hit the like button and the subscribe button if you haven't already, as well as that notification bell. And then, Ant, we're going to bring it back around town right now to talk more about this game and what to expect from this 49ers-Vikings matchup. We saw these two teams in 2019. All 49ers fans remember how that went the last time they were in Levi Stadium facing off against one another. A big fat W for the 49ers as they moved on to the NFC Championship game. But different teams, different identities, different pieces, more seasoned head coaches. A lot of things, a lot of storylines going into this game, including the 49ers dominating run performance, as well as the Vikings, I guess the best way to put it would be lack of great at stopping run teams.
Yeah, I think that's a big interesting part of this football game is the fact that the Minnesota Vikings have a very good pass defense, but their run defense is just not very good. And their pass rush is very good. So if they're allowed to get to Jimmy Garoppolo, this could be a long day for the 49ers. But if the 49ers can do what they've been doing throughout the weeks, which is execute a game plan of running the football continuously and taking advantage of this bad defense that the Vikings have in the run game, and then also getting the ball out of Jimmy Garoppolo's hands quickly. That was one thing that worked against the Rams. He was at, 2.3 seconds getting rid of the football. If they can do that, they have an opportunity to beat the Vikings. The other good part is the Vikings just put film against the Packers. And the 49ers are very familiar with the Packers, a similar scheme, the way that they attack. It's going to be at least some comparable things that they can glean from this and then use to formulate their own game plan. I'm sure they're going to have a nice game plan against the Vikings. They've already proven they can execute a game plan to defeat Mike Zimmer's defense before.
Accurate.
So getting into this football game, I think the 49ers have the opportunity, but they have to stick to what they've been doing. As Bud Kilmer would say, stick to the basics, stick to the basics, stick to the basics.
To twirl the whistle while you do it to make sure you hit the helmet.
Yeah.
And then
100%.
let somebody know that they something between the difference between a sneeze and a wet fart. I forget
You're the dumbest smart kid
I've ever
I know.
Yeah. Don't know the difference between a sneeze and a wet fart. Look, and while Bud Kilmer's doing that and doing his fun stuff over there, the 49ers definitely have to find a way to continue executing at the level that they have been. Establishing this run game is vitally important for the San Francisco 49ers team and being physical at the point of attack.
Right.
The good news is the Vikings have struggled with that. That's why they struggled a lot against run teams. Now, you may be going, yeah, well, I watched that Vikings game last week against the Packers, and the Packers run game wasn't very good. So what do you say to that? Well, I say they're down their best running back, and also different pieces on the interior. Their O-line hasn't been healthy. Our O-line, with the exception of Mike McGlinchey, is healthy. We've also seen Tom Compton and Jalen Moore execute and operate at a high level. Anthony Barr hasn't been healthy. So, both positive things for the 49ers. You're not going to get tested as much on that edge as you have been. And the Vikings have been they do a lot of similar things that other teams have done. 5 down linemen on base run sets, go to their traditional 4 down linemen on, obvious passing downs, 2nd and longers, 3rd and longs, things of that nature. So if you're the 49ers, you kind of already know what to expect. You know what types of things they're going to do because, well, multiple teams have done it to you already and put it on film. Are there little wrinkles that you can change? Yes, and the Niners have been doing that each and every week. Last week we saw for the first time in a long time this motion coming across the formation on some of these pitch plays in which he actually wasn't coming downhill and just smacking him all the time, smacking the end and kicking him out, but instead was kind of chipping and then trying to get around to help that guy get around and seal that block so they could get around the edge and try and get outside. So the Niners have been doing and trying different things and adding new wrinkles into the run game in terms of how they want to establish it and how they want to do it. But what hasn't changed is that they want to come right at you, downhill, smash you in the mouth, extend drives, and hold on to the ball for as long as humanly possible and wear your defense down so that way at the end of the game, late second quarter, early second quarter, mid second quarter, after you've had a 14, 15, 20 plays in the first quarter where your defense had to be on the field. Well, you just don't want any more of that by the time you get to the second quarter and the second half of football games.
Yeah, and another big storyline in this football game is Dalvin Cook. Dalvin Cook, if he's able to get going and able to gash this 49ers defense, 49ers defense is going to have been a world of hurt and we struggle to stop this Vikings offense because once you get Kirk Cousins the ability to be able to play action, that is when he's really successful. When he has to drop back and just find someone to throw to, he's not the best at it. But when you put him in certain situations where he can get out there and move the pocket and be able to throw on the move, he can do things. And he's got weapons, down the field that he can take advantage of, whether that's Thielen or Justin Jefferson. Both of them are bears, and it's tough to deal with. I don't know about dealing with Justin Jefferson in a one-on-one situation. So a lot of times the 49ers are going to have to scheme it up to take him away. I wouldn't be shocked if they don't bracket him, make Thielen beat them one-on-one, and then, make these other weapons that they have defeat them. But you got to take away Dalvin Cook first, whether that is, bringing a safety into the box, whether it's bringing a Talanoa Hufanga on the field, whatever it takes, you need to make sure you stop Dalvin Cook in this run game. That was the formula for the 2019 playoff win. Stuff Dalvin Cook, and then you make Kirk Cousins beat him. And Kirk Cousins couldn't do enough to beat him in that football game. Did he make a couple of plays? Of course he did. He also made a couple of mistakes. And that's what you're banking on in this football game. So go ahead and take those things away, take Cook away, and make sure that it comes down to Kirk Cousins in this wide receiver room that has to do it. And if you can, take away Justin Jefferson as well.
It's important, man. Make Kirk Cousins be a drop back quarterback, and if he has to drop back in space from under center, he's going to make some mistakes. His eyes are going to betray him, and he's going to pull the trigger early, especially if he feels pressure coming. So Nick Bosa, Eric Armstead, Samson Ebukam, Arden Key, DJ Jones, whoever it is that's out there, Contavious Street, Kevin Givens, I don't care who it is. Get after this guy. Get after this guy. Make him feel the pressure. Make him feel you coming across your face or from his backside, and make him put that back foot in the ground and get rid of that ball early. Even if he doesn't necessarily trust his eyes, he knows I have to give this guy a chance. If he takes those chances, the 49ers can capitalize. But offensively, we got key matchups that the 49ers need to do to help them move the ball and continue to establish that identity. What is your key matchup offensively?
My key matchup is this 49ers run game versus the Vikings rush defense. It's all about, can the 49ers get a run game going against the Vikings defense? And the Vikings defense hasn't proven to be that successful this year and that stout against the run game. But the 49ers have big questions. We still don't know for sure if Elijah Mitchell is going to be, able to get out there and get it done. I know that Kyle Shanahan is, I'm sure, optimistic, but the run game changes drastically when Elijah Mitchell's not out there. So if Elijah Mitchell's out there, I feel really confident about this 49ers run game and the way that they're able to, scheme it up. It'll be successful outside and inside because they have the weapons now. If not, it's going to be a little bit different because Jeff Wilson Jr. and Trey Sermon have a different skill set than Elijah Mitchell does. So then that means more Deebo Samuel in the backfield, more creative ways to get this run game going. The key is to make sure it does. Because if you get this run game going, you're able to get Jimmy Garoppolo into third and manageable situations. He can win consistently. He's proven that now over 4 straight games. Put Jimmy in good situations, Jimmy will convert for you. And that is a trait that you need in a quarterback, especially with this style of offense. And this is one of those styles of offense that if you can run it, you can be highly successful, but it takes that trigger man that can get it done. And right now, everything is flowing in the right way for the 49ers. Can they duplicate that performance? We're going to find out. But it's all going to come down to how many guys do the Vikings have to commit to stop this run game. Is it 5? Is it 6? Is it 7? Is it 8? Do they have to bring a 9th guy into the box? What is it they have to do? The 49ers last week defeated 8-man boxes and sometimes 9-man boxes. And when you can defeat those with the run game, the run game wasn't pretty, but it was still moving the chains. You put that defense in a world of hurt, you wear them down, and you change the game forever. So I'm curious how these guys attempt to attack it, if they're able to slow it any, and if the 49ers aren't slowed down, it's going to be a long day for Minnesota.
Yes, 1,000% yes, Ant. It's huge. It's vitally important. And part of the reason why it's vitally important is because you have an offensive mind in Shanahan going up against a defensive mind in Mr. Zimmer, in Mike Zimmer. So that's my key matchup. It's Shanahan versus Zimmer. And does Zimmer have a Zimmer of hope, Ant? Does he have it? Can he find what he needs to find? It's pretty obvious that Mike Zimmer has struggled this year as a defensive coordinator in terms of getting this team to play consistently. But this matchup is now evolved into 2 first half teams going up against each other, because the Niners now have shown that they're a first drive team at this point through the last few games. But the Vikings have been a team that has traditionally over this season, the 2021 season, played extremely well in the first half and abysmal in the second half. And if the Niners want to be this team going forward, this is the ultimate test. This is the irresistible force versus the immovable object. The team that does not want to back down and will not, be swayed or be pushed off their spot. If the Niners can push them off their spot and can take control of this game early, the Vikings have not been a second half team. They've been a first half team who's gotten out to a lead and held teams off or succumbed to the moment.
Right.
If you're the Niners and you get out to a lead, you establish yourself early and physically dominate this team, the Minnesota Vikings, we're going to find out really quick. Are you the real deal? Are you a team that can go deep in the playoffs, or are you pretenders? Can you not play? Can you play without a lead? Because so far this year, no one has tested them and forced them to be that team. And when they haven't had a lead early in football games, they haven't gone into halftime with a big lead. The Minnesota Vikings have been run off the field by a lot of teams, including very early in the season against some very questionable opponents. The 49ers, get out early, establish yourself early. If you do those things, Kyle Shanahan, scheme it up, take away the things Mike Zimmer wants to do, make him commit those extra guys in the box. Because if you do, and then you're able to win, it's even better news for you. And if you do and you dial up the right pass plays at the right time to take shots, Minnesota's in a world of hurt, especially with that secondary being as questionable as it's been. I know they're getting a little bit healthy. You get Patrick Peterson back. Still not the greatest secondary in the world.
No, the secondary is not great, but the pass rush is.
It is.
And that's the key. And once you get the run game going, it'll slow the pass rush. The way they have to play it, they're not able just to pin their ears back and go, especially on a 3rd and 2, 3rd and 3. You can still run the football. So it changes the ways these guys are able to attack. That's what you need to do because you have to protect Jalen Moore or Tom Compton, whoever's starting at right tackle. Put these guys in scenarios where they can be successful. That's what it's all about with this.
Yes.
So you're right. This is a key matchup in this game. And the funny thing is, you talk about them having such, abysmal second halves. That's coaching. That means scheming. That means they're not adjusting at halftime, which is a good sign for the 49ers. If the 49ers go into the game and they're winning in this first half, they're going to pull away in the second half. And that is exactly what we need to happen. We need the 49ers to start distancing themselves from these mediocre teams that are in the middle. The only way they're going to do that is by going in there and just taking somebody's lunch. Minnesota's coming to San Francisco. They're going to be putting their best foot forward, and you have to go take that foot and jam it straight up their butt. That's just being clear and perfect about it. That's what I would be telling my team. Let's go in there and let's handle these guys. Let's prove that they belong nowhere near this playoff picture. So I'm excited about the physicality the 49ers have been bringing. As you can tell, I'm stepping up my game as far as my conversation skills. Getting kind of hyped there, Alex. I want the 49ers to win this game big time.
Violent.
Yeah.
It's aggressive and violent.
Yeah, it's called celebration.
I was waiting for it, and I'm so glad you said it. Look, it's vitally important. The Niners need to establish themselves. And you have to be violent. As you said, take their lunch. Bully mentality. Bully bowl has arrived in Santa Clara. Minnesota, welcome, because you're going to have to get bullied all up and down the field on Sunday. And the Niners need to do it. They know they need to do it. And I don't expect them to come out and not shy away from punching someone right in the mouth.
Yeah, we didn't talk about it a whole lot. You kind of mentioned it a little bit, but I feel good about our wide receiver core against these defensive backs as well.
Correct.
They can't put Patrick Peterson on an island against Brandon Ayuk. They're not going to be able to put Harrison Smith, covering George Kittle. There are mismatches all over the field. The key is going to be, can the 49ers get those linebackers to creep and make sure that they can locate them, right? That was a big thing in 2019. And sometimes they couldn't stop the run, so their linebackers would literally just sag a little bit, knowing they were going to give up the run anyway and try to catch Jimmy making a mistake over the middle. And if Jimmy doesn't make those mistakes, this Vikings defense is going to have a hard time stopping the 49ers because the 49ers' weapons and matchups against this Vikings defense, in my opinion, is just way better than even the matchup last week against the Jacksonville Jaguars. The Niners match up very well against the Vikings.
The Jacksonville Jaguars have a very good run defense and some questionable stuff in the secondary. The Minnesota Vikings have a great pass rush, and some question marks in other places.
Yes.
And the secondary isn't elite.
Linebacker core is pretty good.
Yes, Kendricks is fantastic, and I forget the other gentleman, but he flows really well as well.
Yeah.
Both of them are pretty good. But the problem is that the front isn't necessarily great against the run. And when the front's getting washed or getting double teamed or moved off their spot and getting in linebackers' fill lanes, big problems. So Zimmer is hoping that he's figured something out from last week. I still say that's not the case. Kyle Shanahan, it's going to be up to you to figure that out. But we got to flip to the other side of the ball because Minnesota Vikings, Yeah, defense, maybe at times it's a little bit questionable, or they've had some, they've had like great first halves and then given up 400 or 500 yards in the second half of football games, and it's been ugly for their defense. Their offense is consistently putting up points. They're consistently doing things, whether it's Thielen, whether it's Justin Jefferson, or whether it's Dalvin Cook. Kirk Cousins is not a scrub of a quarterback by any means. He can definitely find the guys he needs to find. He can hit the guys he needs to hit, and he's got an arm. He can throw the deep ball. He's really, really good at it. But, and this is a big but, Ant, the consistency isn't always there. They have plenty of drives where they stall out. And if you're the 49ers, you have to create more of those opportunities and more of those drives. And Kirk is still susceptible to taking chances that he should not take, especially when games are tighter and games are closer. Last week against Green Bay, he threw what should have been a game-sealing pick,
100%.
a game-sealing interception that got overturned and he got a lucky break. There was also another bad throw, a play or two after that as well. Kirk has a few of these a game. We watch this coming up and Know Your Opponent. We're going to go over the Vikings game, I believe it is against the Chargers, in which Kirk Cousins makes some very questionable throws that should have been picked off that the Chargers just drop. Yes, that was a big win for them, but the Chargers are a young team finding their identity. The Niners defense is going to have their hands full with Dalvin Cook, but if they can find a way to slow this run game down, find a way to jam up those run lanes, make sure you're aggressive at the point of attack, win against those double teams, and when they go one-on-one with you in space, get in there and get some tackles for loss and set them into second and longs, third and longs, make Kirk Cousins just straight drop back and throw. The more Cousins has to do that, the more times and chances you have to disguise the coverage, get his eyes thinking one thing, making a decision, and then capitalizing on it.
Yeah, third and long is a great situation for the 49ers. If they can force Minnesota to be consistently in that 3rd and 6 to 3rd and 10 range, they're going to win. They're going to get off the field. Nick Bosa is going to get after it. Arden Key is going to get after it. These guys are going to be able to put on pressure, and it's going to put the 49ers in good situations, to be able to stop the Vikings offense. That's what you're looking for. So these early downs is going to be very important. So hopefully the 49ers can get it done, and hopefully they can stop these guys on early downs and get it done. And that's why my defensive key matchup, Alex, is Dalvin Cook against the 49ers front seven. Shockingly, we have to slow cook. And if we slow cook this, just like we did our turkeys for Thanksgiving, it's going to be a good situation. So make sure you stop Dalvin Cook. Make sure you slow him down. That way you're into these 3rd and long situations that you can take advantage of. And 100% is such a big advantage for the 49ers, not only just percentage-wise, but just the way that they play defense, to be able to get a 3rd and long where they can put not Fred Warner, but Jimmy Ward up on somebody and run this cover one. The fact that Tart and Ward are back has changed this defensive fundamentally. They're able to play it completely different. They're able to get right up on you. They're able to press you. The more aggressive style of secondary is back. So that is big, but it all starts with stopping Dalvin Cook. And if you don't, they're going to absolutely give the 49ers fits. This is going to be a knockdown dragout. This is going to be a, hey, Jimmy, you need to throw it 35 times and beat the other team to win the game. That's not the kind of matchup we want to get into. We want to get into a real grinded out matchup where the 49ers know that if the Vikings have one time where they don't convert on 3rd down, that now they're down 14 points. That's what you want from them. You want the Niners to dominate the time of possession, keep your defense off the field, and one way you do that is get off the field on 3rd down. So stop Dalvin Cook early in downs.
Stop him down. I like it. Stop him early and force them to have to throw the ball, which leads then to my next key matchup. And it's the thing that the Niners need to be able to do in space. And that is be gritty. Play against this Thielen Jefferson combination. And
and do the gritty.
Yeah, do the gritty. Do the whole thing. But look, the secondary is going to have a test this week. This is a test. 100%. Thielen and Jefferson are 2 of the top, I think, 10 wide receivers in the league in a bunch of different statistical categories, including receptions. They get open, they run after the catch, they can run pretty much every route in the route tree. I mean, they're not limited as wideouts. They are solid wide receivers in this league, and they are a problem, 100%. But a lot of their stuff takes time. It takes time to develop. It's not a situation where Kirk Cousins is notorious and known for getting the ball out in 3.5 seconds.
Right.
It's a 3.5 to 4 second type of hold on most of these pass plays. Do they have stuff where they get it out quickly in space? Absolutely. Every team does. But Kirk Cousins hasn't been known for this. Can this Vikings team scheme up situations to get the ball out of Kirk's hands consistently quickly? Maybe they can. But you know what blows up best laid plans and getting the ball out quickly? Slowing down the run game, like you talked about, getting them into 3rd and longer, 2nd and longer, things of that nature, and making them really have to push downfield a little bit. D'Amico Ryans has shown that he trusts these guys on 3rd downs. He'll go man. He'll match up man in those situations. And you know what? I'm all fine with it this week. I'm all good with it. Be aggressive, be assertive, go be physical. Go be physical against these wide receivers. Justin Jefferson's got great releases. I'd love to see him and Emmanuel Mosley matched up more times than not, and maybe roll some safety help over the top so he can be really aggressive underneath and make them take the shot outside. And then go, hey, Josh Norman, Adam Thielen's not a burner. He's not slow, but he's not a burner. Go try and lock down in some of these third downs. Win a couple of these. Because if you can, or if you make them take some longer, elongated routes or, slow releases, well, then guess what? Pass rush has a chance to get home. And Nick Bosa's been feasting. He's been getting better and better each and every week. Eric Armstead's been eating up double teams. This is a week where Minnesota's like, hey, you know what? We're not going to let Bosa eat. We're going to send that double team over there. All right, well, now you're leaving DJ Jones, you're leaving Arden Key, and you're leaving Eric Armstead on the interior with beelines at Kirk Cousins. Big body guys coming right at Kirk, coming across his face. All I can say is, Armstead, if you're not going to get there, get your hands up, guy, because he's had a couple of times where balls have gone right over him, where I feel he could have got his hands up in space. So 49ers front four, get after Kirk, especially if you are able to get these guys slowed down on first and second down.
Well, that's the issue, right? If they're going to double Nick Bosa and they're going to put attention towards Eric Armstead, they're just not going to have enough guys, because if you have to keep a running back in the backfield, then you can't use them. So then if you're not using him, you are able to bracket Justin Jefferson. You are able to double Adam Thielen and force one of these other guys to beat him. They need Dalvin Cook to be able to be a weapon in the pass game. And if he's having to chip, or a tight end's having to chip, even a third receiver. Okay, K'Wan Williams, you're one-on-one. So if you're telling me the matchup is going to be K'Wan Williams one-on-one with someone.
KJ Osborne?
Yeah, exactly. I'm going to take that every single day of the week. And maybe that's what the 49ers do, is take away those two receivers, force these other guys to beat them consistently. And then the fact that they have to, hit them with a tight end or hit them with a running back. Mm-hmm. Now Fred Warner and these linebacker core, they just got to lock down these guys. Count on Jimmy and them covering the receivers, and count on Fred Warner and them winning in these matchups against running backs and tight ends. And if they can do it consistently, they can definitely beat the Vikings. Because I would not let Justin Jefferson beat me, and I definitely wouldn't let Adam Thielen beat me, knowing who the other weapons are on this football team. Go in there, take those guys away, and then get after it. And if they have to use extra guys to block your pass rush, great. You'll probably see that happen in my Wow That's Bold, because I have a certain thing that's going to be coming from that exact matchup. So
interesting.
Yeah, 100%.
Very interesting, Ant. I might be playing off of that as well.
I like it.
And we didn't even mention Dre Greenlaw and the potential return and what his impact may be. Getting Dre Greenlaw out there able to cover makes it so that, the Niners have been really getting home with 4 and sending some creative blitzes with guys on the outside with your safeties and your nickel corners and things of that nature. The return of Dre Greenlaw means that Fred Warner is now freed up to, at times, be a blitzing threat, something teams have not seen a whole lot of and may not know how to prepare for, Ant, which opens up a whole new section of the playbook for DeMeco Ryans.
Well, a lot of confusion, too.
True.
If you're being able to show, and they now have the real threat that they know you could send Fred because Dre can cover, then that running back has to sit, right? He has to wait. He has to make sure he's not coming. Can't go out and chip on both. He can't go out right away. So it does change the way that they're able to, be able to scheme up things and scheme up their blocking scheme. And that's going to be big for the 49ers. That could be huge and impact in this game. We'll see if Dre is out there. Hopefully he is. We're getting closer and closer every week. So we know if it's not this week, it will be next week.
True.
I'm thinking it's this week, Alex. I think we get Dre Greenlaw out there. I think this is the week that he goes out there and absolutely stuffs this Vikings run game. I'm excited about the prospects, and I'm excited about what the 49ers are going to be able to do with all the pieces they've gotten back, and also the uses of Hufanga on third down as well as that third safety.
And they will do that. They will 100% bring him on the field, use him as a third safety, bring Jimmy Ward down, match him up, man, and call it a day, my guys. I'm looking forward to it. There's a lot of creative things the defense can do. This is going to be a test. By no means is this going to be easy. It's going to be a test. It's going to be fun. I cannot wait for it. And Ant, you just snuck in a little bit of a wow, that's bold, guaranteeing a Dre Greenlaw playing.
Okay. Was that your wow, that's bold?
What?
Oh, I was just teasing a while.
Oh, no, that wasn't my wow, that's bold.
Okay.
It wasn't that he was playing. No, it wasn't that he was playing.
I thought I spoiled.
No, but you snuck in a wow, that's bold before we even got into wow, that's bold.
True.
Because some people aren't convinced, man. Some people are not convinced that Dre Greenlaw is playing. You and I, in the Dre Greenlaw is playing camp. That's where we're at.
Feeling pretty good about it.
I'm feeling pretty good about it. We'll know more, obviously.
Well, if it's not this week, it's next week, so.
Hey, 50-50.
Yeah.
50-50. I like those odds.
Me too.
I like those odds. But now, Ant, we go from odds to actual bold predictions, which have low odds of usually coming true. Except for the last few weeks. We've been close. Both you and I been really close to hitting our Wow That's Bolds. Let's see if we can do it again this week. Cutback crew, get excited. It's Wow That's Bold.
Wow, that's really bold. Whoa. Whoa. Whoa.
It's time for Wow, That's Bold. You know what, you're right. We're talking about this as the graphic was playing. You predicted 4 red zone touchdowns for Jimmy. He had 2 last week. They should have had a third and gotten me my score prediction. Which
I might have. Did I say 4 for Jimmy or did I say 4 for the 49ers?
You might have said 4 for the 49ers.
I think I said 4 for the 49ers. And I think Debo's run was just outside the red zone.
Son of a gun.
But
I'll still count it. That's 3.
Overall, I'll take it.
Yeah, I'll take it for you as well, Ant. And Brandon Ayuk almost did his thing for me this last week. And now I'm banking on another wide receiver, Ant. My offensive Wow, That's Bold for week 12. Debo Samuel, 150 all-purpose yards, receiving and rushing, and 2 tutties.
I like it.
Get it done, Debo.
Yeah, my Wow, That's Bold is that Jimmy Garoppolo comes out and he's going to have another big game. And this time it's going to be 3 touchdowns, 0 interceptions.
Ooh, 3 tutties for Jimmy Garoppolo. Hey, can 2 of those tutties be to Debo Samuel?
100% they can.
I'll take it, Ant.
And he's going to have a plus 130 passer rating as well.
Oh, a 130 plus passer rating. You just want specific at the end of the boldness.
You're welcome.
I like it. I always love the specificness, Ant. But from the offensive side of the ball, Ant, to the defensive side of the ball, what are you feeling? How bold are you feeling defensively? I have a sneaking suspicion based on what you said earlier that you might be feeling pretty bold about the 49ers defense. Where are you at?
I have a bold prediction about this defensive line because I do think they're going to try to chip Nick Bosa early. I think they're going to try to double Eric Armstead.
Yes.
And I think that's going to leave somebody available that we've been seeing flashes from. I think Arden Key's going to show up in this game and have 2 sacks that are going to be very pivotal for the 49ers defense.
Oh my, 2 sacks for Arden Key?
Arden Key.
I like that, man. I really do like that a lot. Look, my Wow, That's Bold involves Dre Greenlaw. So, I mean, in theory, you spoiled it, but not really. Dre Greenlaw is coming back. People have been slandering this man's name. They've been saying nonsensical things about him. Talking about how Azeez Al-Shaair is the guy and Dre we can just move on from, which is just nonsense. Absolute hogwash, hog garbage. I don't like it. It makes me sick to my stomach, Ant. And Dre Greenlaw, he's been hearing your nonsense. Faithful. Some of you out there, not everyone. He's going to come in a big way today. He's going to come bring the noise all over the Minnesota Vikings. All brought down on
Yeah,
them.
my hat on that.
Yeah, you did. The noise. The noise. 2 picks. 1 forced fumble and a tackle for loss for Dre Greenlaw.
Good Lord.
Book it, baby. Book it, baby. It's happening. It's happening.
This isn't no longer Wow, That's Bold. This is like tremendously bold.
Why? Because of the 2 picks? If I just gave him 1 pick and a forced fumble, would it be Wow, That's Bold?
Probably like wowzers, that's bold. But yeah, I mean, it's pretty bold.
I like it. Hey, I'm all on the Dre Greenlaw hype train, man. I'll have my 57 jersey ready to go. Dre, missed you, man. Cannot wait to see you out there again. Handle your business. Handle the Vikings.
If Alex's Wow, That's Bold comes true, the 49ers are 100% winning. And if it also comes true, I will buy him some crumble cookies.
Me?
Yeah.
I still got to get you some crumble cookies.
I know, I've never had any of those.
I know. It's I'll take care of you. Don't worry about it.
Evan got some.
He did get some. It was the week they lost. Oh, goodness gracious. If you're new to the channel, we had a bet with Evan from the He's on Fire podcast. We had him on for Know Your Opponent, which comes up later today, actually, at 5:30 p.m. Pacific time, so make sure you don't miss that. But we had a bet with him. If the 49ers lost, we would send him crumble cookies. Each of us would. The 49ers lost. I sent mine immediately. Ant waited a couple weeks because we were trying to get him his right order.
The special order,
Special order. We couldn't do it, so he's just like, I just send the chocolate chips. So Ant sent them the same week that the Arizona Cardinals lost. So Ant sent him crumble cookies, and then the Arizona Cardinals lost. That's what makes that reference so funny. So if you've been
Pretty
here,
sure he actually got him on the day they lost.
Actually, he did get him on the day he lost. Yeah, it was a Monday night game.
Or it was a Thursday night.
It was a Thursday night game. You're right, and you sent them on the Thursday. They arrived like an hour before game time. And then crumbled in his mouth, and then the Arizona Cardinals crumbled on the field. Big yikes.
Russell Douglas with a big pick.
Big pick.
Apparently, AJ Green doesn't know you're supposed to turn around.
You're supposed to turn around, and then Russell Douglas this last week walked by a pick from Kirk Cousins. My goodness gracious me.
Yeah, you remember the all-22 breakdown.
The all-22 film breakdown.
Oh, I'm sorry. It's on the Know Your Opponent.
Yeah, Know Your Opponent. The Know Your Opponent, yes. You don't want to miss that.
Oh, jeez.
It was terrible. It was absolutely terrible. It was just terrible cutback crew. But look, Wow, That's Bold officially wrapped up in a nice bow, and now it's time to get to the Azorean One and our picks in the NFC West. It's time for Lock It Up.
Hey everyone, what's up? Lock it up. It's the Azorean One here, joined by my son, my oldest son, Jackson. Now, as you know, earlier in the season, I had my youngest son, Thomas, help out with the picks. Well, today is Thanksgiving in this household. I know you're seeing this, after, but it's Thanksgiving right now. So Thomas is actually cooking our Thanksgiving dinner, and well,
smells like poop. Poop, poop.
it's going to be interesting, to say the least. So since he's busy in the kitchen, Jackson here is going to make the picks for this week's Lock It Up, Week 12. Yeah, sure. Thanksgiving Day weekend. So, here we go. You ready?
Yeah.
You good for this? He's hyped. He's been practicing. He's watching ESPN, studying Stephen A. Smith.
And I keep watching Ashley go.
Yeah, Pokemon really helps. So here we go. Ready? Come on, over here. Come on.
Okay.
Here we go. Ready? All right. So, first up, Eagles versus Giants.
Eagles.
Eagles. There's the pick there. All right, ready? Rams versus Packers.
Packers.
Packers is that pick. Seahawks versus Washington.
Washington.
Washington's the pick. And of course, Niners versus Vikings.
Niners.
Niners being the pick there. There you have it. There are the picks for this week's Lock It Up. We are now going to prepare for Thanksgiving. It's weird because it's the future for you. You guys are in the future. We're in the past. We're in Thanksgiving land. You guys are in like Black Friday land. It's wacky, right? Who's your favorite time traveler? See Doc Brown. Doc Brown.
Doc Brown.
Doc Brown is his favorite time traveler. That's a great pick, man.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, but Daddy.
Yeah.
I heard this from the turkey movie with the two turkeys. Reggie and Jay, they were going back in time to the first Thanksgiving. And so they picked Steve, this super time traveler egg. He takes everyone back to Halloween, like Thanksgiving, or Christmas, or Easter, or Valentine, or Hanukkah, or what because they are Spanish.
You know what? Go check on your brother. See how cooking's going on. Go see what he's doing.
Okay, I'll go check on the
It's time for Lock It Up.
Time to lock it up, baby. All of the lockings it up. And I just want 1 week where I lead solo.
Yeah, so now you're tied with Horst,
I know.
and I'm stuck with the Azorean One. But you know what? Me and the Azorean One have made a nice tag team before.
You guys have.
So
A little scared about that.
maybe
actually.
it's time to reunite.
Possibly bring the smacketh down all over me and the Horsty. Could be the case. Cutback crew, look at them getting themselves back into the conversation. They had
Nice.
themselves a nice week. 21-19 now with their record, 2 games over 500. Like to see that out of you, Cutback crew. Proud of you in your first season of Lock It Up. You're doing a swell job. But look, you just saw the Azorean One's picks. You know what he's going with, and now it's time to give you ours. Time for this Week 12 edition of Lock It Up, and we got to start with this Eagles-Giants game, and a lot of implications for both teams. If the Giants are able to get a win, they put themselves at 4 wins. You put yourselves, you're still keeping yourself relevant in that conversation. They just fired Jason Garrett, so that's going to solve all of their problems.
Oh, yeah.
And the Eagles are looking to stay hot. They've been hot. They're trying to stay hot and stay relevant in the playoff conversation. Who are you going with?
Well, you can stay hot when you're playing a lukewarm team like the New York Giants. So, yeah, I got the Eagles winning this game 24-13. I think it's going to be an absolute barn burner of a game, a typical NFC East game, but I just think the Eagles are better than the Giants right now. The Giants are somewhat in disarray. Danny Dimes is struggling. This team is struggling.
True.
Their offensive tackle now has as many touchdowns as their 2 best wide receivers. That is not a good scenario for them. So, yeah, Eagles win this game.
I'm gonna agree with you on this. So does the Cutback crew. So does Horst as well. Cutback crew 91%. Holy shnikes, that is a big number.
I'm surprised it's not higher, actually.
I'm actually a little bit surprised. It could be like 99, and it wouldn't shock me. Look, the Eagles have found a little bit of their identity in terms of taking the ball out of Jalen Hurts' hands more, getting it into their running backs' hands, letting them make plays. And look at that, and they're finding success, and Hurts isn't making mistakes. Crazy, absolutely crazy. The real question is just going to be what team figures out what they're doing in their run game and their scheme, and who's able to slow it down later in the season, if anyone can. They do have some question marks on the line. They're missing some pieces. Some guys aren't healthy.
They beat the Saints. They're going to beat the Giants.
Whoop-de-doo. What does it all mean, Basil?
They can't even beat Jacksonville.
Oh. Big yikes.
You're welcome.
I like it, and I like it a lot. Look, I agree with you, though. I do think that the firing of Jason Garrett is going to do something for their offense, something different. I mean, they got that going for them for the Gigantes, but it doesn't matter at this point. The Eagles are going to win this football game. I have this game going 21-13.
Feed Dante Pettis the rock if you want to win. If you don't, you're going to lose.
You're going to lose. Got to get the cat the ball. You get the cat the balls, everything's going to be A-okay. Next up on the docket, I literally just watched that highlight again of that catching it in the end zone. Oh my goodness. Next game on the docket, the Rams, Ant, with a big, huge matchup against the Packers.
Yeah,
it is. I mean, this is huge. You think this would be a game they would flex into prime time, but instead they have it sitting at 125 for whatever reason. But hey, that's fine. That's fine by me. Big matchup, big opportunity for both teams. Both teams trying to stay relevant. The Rams trying to stay in the conversation for NFC West crown. The Packers trying to keep themselves in the conversation for number 1 overall seed. How do you see this thing going? Who are you going with?
Yeah, this is an interesting matchup overall. The Green Bay Packers and LaFleur and McVay and that group they run similar offenses. So it's like these guys are familiar with what each other tries to do, and you have a dynamic quarterback in Aaron Rodgers.
Accurate.
But the Rams are coming off a bye. The Rams have been prepared. The Rams got absolutely demolished by the 49ers. Green Bay can't duplicate the plan that the 49ers ran. They just can't. And I think that Jalen Ramsey can go out there and have some success against Devontae Adams. And I think this is going to be a good game. It's going to be a close game. But I got the 49ers. 49ers are going to win this one too. But no, the 49ers are not going to win this one because the Rams are going to beat the Packers 31-17.
Technically, you're right, seeing as both guys are disciples of Shanahan. Basically, it's like the 49ers winning no matter which way the cookie crumbles. Yeah. So I get what you're going with here, Ant. And you're the lone wolf on this.
Yeah.
Look at all of these Packer pickers here. Pickers of Packers. Horst going with the Packers. The Azorean One, obviously, with the Packers. The Cutback crew, 70% with the Packers. And me, going with the Green Bay Packers, but for one reason and one reason only. Aaron Jones potentially returning. David Bakhtiari potentially in the lineup. You have those pieces there. And yes, they're not going to be able to establish the same sort of game plan, but there's a difference between the Packers, right, and the 49ers. The Packers aren't the type of team to grind you out. The Packers are the type of team that can just beat you in a play or two, right? They're going to soften this team up with the run game. And if Aaron Jones is healthy, and even if A.J. Dillon is healthy, I think they're going to have a little bit more success running the football than some people realize. And I think this is a big problem that the Rams have, is slowing down teams with run games. We went into the Arizona game. We said if Green Bay could run the football against the Arizona Cardinals in the front, with them losing J.J. Watt, you're going to have success. And they found success. I think the Packers know this. I think they realize this. They watched, LaFleur watched the game plan, and McVay definitely watched the game plan. But there is going to be some fireworks. This is going to be a little bit of a brawl out sort of game. And I think the injuries to Stafford with the back and the ankle are going to play big dividends for a winter game in Lambeau Field.
He just had 2 weeks off.
I know he had 2 weeks off, but the back injury is something that he's been dealing with now for some time.
The Packers just couldn't get the run game going against Minnesota.
It's true.
That's one of the worst run defenses in the league.
That's very true.
But now they're going to get it going against Aaron Donald and those guys.
But you're talking about not a Rams team, but a Green Bay team that was without their best player, their best running back, in Aaron Jones, who is questionable and could be going this game.
Okay.
I'm working under the assumption that you have Aaron Jones back.
Do the Packers have Kyle Juszczyk?
No, they do not.
Do they have George Kittle?
No, they do not.
Okay. Rams win.
Okay, we'll see.
Yeah,
we'll see what happens there. But I have this thing being a little bit
in first place by yourself again. Let's say that.
Darn it. 21-20 Green Bay is how I see this thing going.
I think it's going to be a close game. I think it's going to be a good game that could go either way.
Agreed.
It's just going to go mine in this case.
Oh, okay. Well, we'll see about that. We're definitely going to see about that, my guy. Look, next game on the docket, the Seattle Seahawks, Monday night prime time. Sunday night game getting flex. You chose the Niners Seahawks game to flex and not this piling heap of a game. The Seattle Seahawks against the Washington football team. Now, granted, both teams trying to stay relevant in the playoff conversation.
Are they relevant in the playoff conversation at this point?
I mean, the Washington football team's a game back. They're a game back.
Okay.
I mean, listen, I'm not saying that it's like the most relevant. They're not like sitting there in the room at the table with everybody going, hey guys, you excited for playoffs?
No, they're definitely at the kiddie table.
They're at the kiddie table going, hey guys, can I be a part of this? This looks like a lot of fun. They're just across the room shouting. Dad shut the door on them. But I'm old enough to stay up late now. Come on, let me in. But look, the Washington football team has definitely been playing a little bit better, a smidge better. They beat the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I guess Taylor Heineke is just Tom Brady kryptonite, is what it feels like, because he almost beat him in the playoffs last year, and then this.
Is his middle name Eli?
Maybe. Someone needs to find that out.
Yeah.
That's what it really comes down to. How do you see this thing going? Is Seattle down and out now, or is there still a little bit of hope?
Seattle is close to down and out. I think they really are. And I think that this is going to be an interesting game, because I think, whichever team loses is for sure out of this thing officially and done. But I think that Seattle's going to put the Washington football team down in this one. I think Seattle is going to muster up enough. Russ is going to muster up enough, and they're going to get it done. I got Seattle beating the Washington football team 19-17, delaying their inevitable demise until they play the 49ers.
I like it, Ant. Yeah. I like that. Horst agrees with you. Myself agrees with you as well. I think they're able to do enough. No Chris Carson is devastating for them, but no Chase Young for the Washington football team is just as devastating. And because of that, Russ has enough time to cook. Playing in not so cold weather, I would imagine. I'm not 100% sure what's going to be happening there, but I think every week Russ is going to get a little bit closer to being the guy he needs to be and getting a little bit healthier until at the end of the season we see, Russ cooking magic, hopefully against the Arizona Cardinals late in the year. I would absolutely love that. But I think this is going to go the Seahawks way. I think it's going to be a pretty ugly game. I don't think this is going to be fun to watch by any means at all. I think you end up with a final score of like 13-10.
Yeah, 100%. If you still have any leftovers left, just eat them and go into a food coma to watch this game.
That's about all you can do. Yeah. But Cutback Crew, they're 84%. They are impressive. They are confident in the Washington football team. I am not that confident in the Seattle Seahawks, and obviously the Azorean One going with Washington as well. But Ant, we got to get to the game that truly matters on this channel anyway. Matters to us.
All it should matter.
Should be. I mean, it should be the only thing that definitely matters. Pete Carroll, shout out. I got the USC coaching stuff on. What's up? But the 49ers at home, Levi Stadium, against the Minnesota Vikings. And Niners got a big win at home a couple weeks ago against the Rams. Minnesota coming back to town. Site of the 2019 playoffs, where they got mollywopped and handled. Mike Zimmer getting his revenge on Kyle Shanahan.
A little bit different teams. Both teams are constituted a little bit different way, so it could go a different way. Different wide receivers, different DBs. I mean, it is a big difference. I think that the way that the 49ers are playing right now, the bully mentality, the way they're going to be able to run the football against Minnesota, who struggles to stop the run. So it's going to be, can Zimmer get that going enough? And I don't think he can. I think the 49ers are going to win this game, and I think they're going to win it 31-20. They're going to put themselves firmly into the playoff race. They're going to be sitting in the 6th seed after this week, and we're going to be very excited about their prospects. So yeah, 49ers big in this game.
I like that. I truly do like that. That's big. That's big news.
And 30 points for 3 straight weeks. Yeah,
that's nice. That's nice. I want that. I want all of it, as much of it as humanly possible. And look, this is the thing with the 49ers. 93% for the Cutback Crew, by the way. I like the faithful being out in full force. Horst obviously with the 49ers, and you saw the Azorean One already. But this game is huge. It is huge for the San Francisco 49ers. It's important that they come out and establish themselves and their mentality early. The nice thing for the 49ers is that you are dealing with some injuries for the Vikings at key spots. Anthony Barr, an outside linebacker, who comes down to space, he's dealing with a knee. He's been having limited practice.
Which means it's going to be hard for them to set the edge.
It's going to be very hard for them to set the edge. Adam Thielen had a full practice, but he's been dealing with a little bit of a heel and an Achilles the past couple of weeks. So he's not at 100%, and that's going to be a little bit of a concern for them. And then Wyatt Davis, the guard that they drafted, who's been starting for them and playing for them, he's been dealing with an ankle. So he is DNP this week, early in the week. So the Vikings aren't necessarily healthy, so if you're the 49ers, punish them. The guys who are banged up and bruised up, make them feel you. Get these guys flown up in the box and trying to come up and stop the run. And if they do that, you're going to have your opportunities to take shots and take chances and capitalize on them in a big way. I think the 49ers do that. I think they found their recipe, and I don't think anyone has a formula right now that can slow this down. And by the time teams figure out what the formula is, Kyle Shanahan's going to change it all up again anyway. So I'm not worried about that whatsoever. But I agree with you, the 30-plus points, it happens. Last week I predicted 34-3, and it almost came to fruition. The Niners just need to score on one more drive, and we come away with big points. This week, they're going to get that 34 number, and they're going to hold the Minnesota Vikings to 17 points. 34-17, San Francisco, a big dub, 6-5, complete control of their own destiny, and now firmly sitting in the 6th seed. That's what I got going.
I like it.
I'm a big fan of it. I know that. I absolutely love it, Ant. I absolutely love it. Lock It Up is definitely going to be interesting this week. Some interesting picks. We got a lone wolf over there going with the Los Angeles Rams, which is a solid pick because that's going to be one heck of a football game. It is going to be a great game. It is going to be a phenomenal game. Thanksgiving, everyone's full. Their bellies are full from that. Make sure you got your leftovers ready because this Sunday, Lock It Up, this whole week 12, is going to be very, very entertaining, to say the least.
Yeah, 100%. This is going to be a great week of football, and it's going to start shaking out some more of the playoff picture. So this week is going to give a clear advantage of who is who and who is not who, and that's going to be fun to watch. And I'm hoping the 49ers are right in the thick of things and that they officially put down Minnesota as a threat to them in the playoff hunt. Woo! What a show, Alex. What a show.
Man, lots of fun stuff happening. Lots of great conversations. Lots of bold predictions, bold picks, funny videos from Steve's. That man, so creative.
Yeah, I mean, I'm ready to get into this. I'm ready to get into this game against Minnesota.
100%.
I'm ready for the 49ers to be right in the thick of things. That 6-5 record, sitting in the 6th spot in the playoffs. I will feel very good about our team and our chances for the rest of the season. It's going to be fun. I'm liking the excitement that we're getting from the 49ers faithful. Everyone's stepping up. Everyone's getting excited about this team. It feels like what it should have been at the beginning of the year.
100%.
And it's kind of nice. We're getting at the middle of the year, but hey, as long as we get going, we get it going together. We get into the playoffs and we make some noise. I'm excited about it.
That's all I want. I want some playoff action. I want some noise action from the 49ers being brought down on their opponents for the rest of the season. So far, last few weeks, been doing exactly what we thought they could do all season long. We're going to see how long they can keep this up. I'm banking on the rest of the year, Ant. I'm banking on the rest of the year.
I think they can go on a little bit of a roll here. And I think the Minnesota game is a big show of that. And if they can beat Minnesota and get to the Seattle game, I think they have a real chance of rolling for a while. And that could be a very good sign for the 49ers. Maybe the stars are aligning and the 49ers are going to not just make a run at just getting into the playoffs, but making some real damage when they get there.
1 week at a time, though. That's all the 49ers can do. Take it 1 week at a time. That's what we're doing here on the podcast as well. Taking it 1 week at a time. We hope you had a wonderful, fantastical, amazing Thanksgiving. We're glad that you're back with us here. We hope you enjoyed this preview show. And if you did, comment down below. Let us know your bold predictions. Let us know your key matchups. Let us know your picks. Maybe you didn't vote with the Cutback crew on our poll. That's A-okay. Drop them down below, and let's have a conversation about this 49ers-Vikings game. Ant, Sunday cannot get here soon enough.
It really can't. I'm excited for this. Let's go in there. Let's get it done. Let's get that big win and prove that everything that happened before is forgotten, and we're on a new season. We're ready to take care of business.
We 100% are. I'm looking forward to the Niners taking care of business. Cutback crew, we hope that you were there at Levi's, being as loud as humanly possible, cheering on your 49ers. We'll see you on the next episode, and until then, stay safe.
Remember, the right way
is always the 49ers way.